All right, so we have Greezy Deckz in the building. Appreciate you coming through. You know what I mean? What's good?
You know, man, Greezy Deckz in the building, man. Thanks for having me. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, for sure. So, I just want to start from the beginning and kind of work our way up, talk about your upbringing, talk about, the moves you made in the game and where you're at right now. So let's start from the beginning. Like, you're originally from Brampton, correct?
Yeah, I'm from the B's. You know what I'm saying? B-Town. You know what I'm saying? Including with Murchie. For some Cardi.
All right.
That's my block.
Yeah. So tell me how, like, growing up in that area was. Like, was it tough? Was it pretty smooth?
So, yo,
Yeah.
pretty much, it's not that it was a rough neighborhood. It's a very good neighborhood to be a part of. But, every neighborhood has their crime. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And people, from the block, come to the block, make money, do their thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So often, you'll see the police around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta run from them.
Mm-hmm.
Just being outside, you come outside to smoke a split, and then next thing you know, bikes are pulling up. The police on the bikes. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So this is like if you're talking about a summer day, you gotta be on your P's and Q's at all times because you don't know who's coming to the block. Could be ops waiting to spin.
Mm-hmm.
Could be mans that are, just the man them coming to flex on the block and look for a bit, kick it and make some money.
Yeah.
Or it could be, the cops. So that mixture of things is like, a pretty crazy environment. But that's every hood. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
No matter where you go in the GTA. So like yeah, definitely was a crazy upbringing that I had, but I just knew to, stay clear of certain things that wasn't for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did certain things like just skateboarding. That was a real passion of mine that I had before music that I would use as an outlet to kind of stay out of trouble, stay off the block.
Yeah.
Shit like that.
So in regards to like, skateboarding and things like that, you don't normally see like, especially like black people or people that grow up in like certain areas, you don't really see people doing skateboarding and shit like that. So how did you get into that?
All right, so, 10 years ago, you know what I'm saying, when skateboarding like really like wasn't something that was like really like super accepted everywhere.
Yeah.
So the ways I dealt with it was I rolled with the punches and I stuck to it. It was one of those things that it's like a life lesson. You gotta stand up for what you believe in.
Mm-hmm.
If this is something that you really love to do,
Mm-hmm.
then you're not gonna let nobody tell you that you can't do it. Whether you're being racist about it, because majority of per se white people do it as a sport. That doesn't mean that black people don't skate.
That's a fact.
Right? So you go to places like Vancouver and you go around to skate parks in Toronto. There's all types of people that skateboard.
Yeah.
No matter what color it is. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And originated in a place like California, there's a lot of different other people that were skateboarding as well, like Mexican, Hispanic people.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of black influencers that came up in the skateboard world that did a lot of good things to let people know that it's okay.
That's a fact.
And there's a lot of people in the hip hop world that made a crossover to it to let people know that yeah, it's a universal thing. So shout out to like people like Lil Wayne, Lupe Fiasco, Pharrell. You know what I mean? And then when you bring it down to like black leaders in the skateboarding community, like Terry Kennedy and Stevie Williams, these guys are really people that rode out for that shit and made sure that people know that this is something that you could do too, and it's a way of life. It's not just a sport you can talk down on.
So quick question, you kind of gave the rundown in regards to skateboarding and how that's a big part of like, your life and whatnot. How are you able to like mesh the music world with the skateboarding world? I believe your name kind of came from skateboarding, right?
Yeah, so, to just give a little origin story on my name is Greezy Deckz. At first, my name was just Deckz, and that stems from me just, being a skateboarder, doing my thing, riding around, grinding, you know what I'm saying, rebelling in these streets, running from security guys type nigga. That's who I was when I was a little kid, you know what I'm saying? So, me riding around in the skate parks all day, because I'm trying to stay out of trouble. I end up like, because I was just so fascinated being at the skate park. I never had my own skateboard. Sometimes mans are unfortunate didn't have one.
Mm-hmm.
So, times that mans are like, taking a break, I'll be like, yo, let me ride your skateboard. See what I'm saying? Let me get the real full grasp of what this really is.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? So like, as I got my own and I learned to skate, I got so into skateboarding that I would break them. You know, so like pretty much I'm coming back to the hood now.
Yeah.
2 seconds every week or so with a broken skateboard. Man just start calling me Deckz. See what I'm saying? So when it came to me having that name, it just kind of stuck because that's what I was on at the time.
Facts.
And then when it came to me being a rapper and switching over my passion, you know, I just added Greezy onto that in high school, which is where I first really started rapping.
Say a word.
You know, so then became Greezy Deckz.
Makes sense.
Definitely was just inspired by some friends from around the area that we used to hang out with all the time. You know what I mean? We all were collectively rapping together at one point, you know, in a group. And then we just decided that, you know, I was gonna be the one to just, you know, push things forward and keep shit going. So yeah, that's one of my first inspirations, just having my friends all like kind of deciding that we want to kind of get into it at a young age. And then once I moved to Vaughan, you know, because I used to live in Brampton. Once I moved to Vaughan, I was really much off by myself because I had no real friends there at the time when I had just moved there. So I kind of fell into more music, just being like, you know, by myself more. But I would still come back to Brampton on the weekends to record and things like that and work on more music. So the inspiration was really just off of aside from just like having music inspirations, it's just more of my friends just all being ambitious and wanting to chase this dream, like, you know, pretty much. Like that's just what it comes down to. Like we all wanted to do this when we were younger. It's just like saying like when you're kids with your friends and you're playing basketball and you're all saying, yeah, like we're gonna be in the NBA one day. We were all really like, yeah, like we're gonna do this music shit and make it one day.
Facts.
You know?
Speaking about inspiration, so who are some artists that, you know, you kind of look up to or who you kind of map your style with? Like, what are some artists that you're like, okay, this is who I want to be, or this is what I want to be, like, you know?
In today's hip hop, there's so much inspiration that I pull from, just based by seeing how people move. Sometimes it's not even about the music. Sometimes it's your business sense. Sometimes it's how you conduct yourself when you walk in a room, you know? Sometimes it's how you conduct yourself when you're on the app. You know, if you're representing yourself the right way and you're being the role model that you're supposed to for artists like me, I'll definitely take heed of it. So a few artists that I could say I take influence from, business sense, Russ. You know what I mean? He knows the independent model in and out, like the back of his hand, and he definitely strives to keep teaching people like the game, which is what I respect. When it comes to like being a marketing genius, Soulja Boy. You know what I mean? He definitely knows his way around doing everything first and showing niggas, yeah, like this is how you go viral. You see what I'm saying? So I take a page out of his book. See what I'm saying? Gucci Mane for the personality and the swag. See what I'm saying? And the charisma. You gotta know, okay, yeah, like what are people gonna like about me? See what I'm saying? And then when it comes to rappers, it's a long list. I'll start off with Migos. You know what I mean? That's like one of my favorite rap groups that I grew up listening to as a teenager, that I definitely took influences from to even like structure my flow. And you know, when it comes to like rapping in multiples and shit like that, rapping on the insides and outsides, I took a lot of that stuff, just hearing what Migos was doing, and realized that, yeah, like I want to start rapping like this. And you know, I used to rap where I would have pauses and not fill in those little extra bars. So I started just going the extra mile, just putting in the extra work to really have a down pack body of skill set when it comes to being able to rap, versatility, shit like that. But you know, when it comes down to like who I want to be like, Drake. See what I'm saying? I want to sing and rap and be on the radio and have all the #1 hits. You know what I mean? And be able to rap for my city and go anywhere and people know that, yeah, I'm that nigga too. That's definitely making his way to the top, you know? And you know, that's where it starts. You got to put in the work and make your way to that point where you can finally say, yeah. And last but not least, Tory Lanez, because he makes it possible to know that we could do this too, just coming from the same city, B-Town.
Yeah, that's a fact.
You know?
You know, some of the artists you mentioned, you've actually worked with them. You know, I know you have a track with Gucci Mane.
Yeah, shout out to Gucci.
For sure. I know you have a strong relationship with Soulja Boy. So let's start off from...
Yeah, shout out Draco. You know what I mean?
Sure, shout out Draco. Let's start off with your relationship with Soulja Boy. How did that come about, and what is that all about?
Yeah, so me and Soulja Boy, we met a few weeks ago on this app, this new social media app called Riff. It's pretty much like Clubhouse on steroids. So imagine like Clubhouse with audio chat, with video chat, and then live streaming. So you can add music into the room, and then artists get a chance to like collect streams off their music, and you can play your own music in the room, right? So me just knowing that this is like the best time to be ahead of the curve, I started downloading apps all the time just for no reason, just to see what they do and if they could be beneficial to my career and building these relationships. So I started getting on it, and then pretty much Soulja Boy was promoting it because he's an ambassador. So I had seen him promoting it on Instagram, and then I decided to just kind of check it out type thing. I realized it was a pretty dope app, but like it's in the very early stages. Nobody was really on it yet, right? So a week or so goes by, and I get a notification. I'm in the bathroom just chilling, like, I'm taking a shit. You know what I mean? Notification goes off that Soulja Boy just went live in the room. So, I just, try to seize the opportunity and get a chance to play my stuff for him and see what he thinks. So I got up on camera. I was in the room. And, when I was starting to play my music, I got a chance to play some stuff for him. I played about 2 songs, I believe, 2 or 3 songs. So this is the first initial time that I met Soulja Boy on the app. So he gave me some good feedback. He pretty much just told me like, stay focused, keep going. And, that was like one of the first times I got a good cosign and my first time getting a chance to talk to him. And after we had spoke on camera with each other, he had like pretty much posed and said, yeah, like, let's take a picture. So we pretty much took a digital picture together. So like that was our first initial time pretty much just tapping in with each other and networking. So fast forward to a couple weeks later, I just, shaking and moving, still using the app, building my network, building my fan base on there, making a little money too, right? So I just knew that maybe he might come back on again. So at some point, and then I'll just do the same thing and stay consistent and really try to just build, because sometimes it's about showing these people that you're just human too. You're not just like hounding them down for them to just listen to your demo. Right. You know what I mean? So the second time around, he went live again just a couple weeks later. And at this point, he's like just chilling in the room, smoking a blunt, you know what I mean? And we all just start kicking it. So we all pretty much went up on stage and got invited up. So now we're on the stage with him, just kicking it like we're his friend, because we all have pretty much tapped in with him at this point. We're all just chilling out, and then everyone starts playing their music for him. So I just let everybody else kind of like let them get their chance to play their music for him, which I should as an artist, just, let everybody get their chance to do, networking. And then the second time I played more music for him. So I played another couple demos for him. He was fucking with it, giving me some good feedback. He could definitely hear my accent and tell that I'm from like Caribbean descent and shit like that, right? So he could definitely sense the commercial marketing approach to it. Like, yeah, like he could probably work with me and get a chance to do something different for a change. And all I can really say is that I'm on the radar, definitely on the radar. He definitely sees what I got going on. And from that point, he had that same live chat that we were in. He had handpicked 3 artists to sign plus me. So he had announced right on live that I'm gonna sign this person, that person, and this person. And when he had said that, everybody was in the room, and so was I. So like I pretty much unmuted my mic and I said, yeah, like you can't forget about me, Soulja Boy. You can't forget about me, brother. And then he pretty much goes as far as to like kind of like section me off and say, yeah, like, oh yeah, Greezy, like we can't forget about you, Greezy. See what I'm saying? Like you international SODMG. See what I'm saying? Like you different. You got a whole different sound. Like, and then so pretty much he was pretty much seeing the vision that I've had pretty much the whole time. Like, yeah, like it'd be dope to branch out the label down here and expand. And he pretty much co-signed that idea right then and there. So yeah, like I'm willing to expand, we're gonna work on something like that and let these niggas know that, we're taking over. So it was definitely a good look for my career. Definitely got some good exposure off of that. and we'll see where it goes. If the label should expand, then definitely it's gonna start with me. So right now, all I can really say is I'm doing the work. I'm letting niggas know exactly how international Greezy Deckz is about to become, so that they can see the product live in the flesh.
We see it.
You know what I mean?
Facts. So, we know that you have a relationship with Soulja Boy. You guys are, talking and whatnot, working together, potentially.
It's in the works, God is good. So I'm just planning this year to manifest all my ambitions and goals into reality, and hopefully things, can work in my favor.
For sure. So, I feel like just looking into you and looking into your background, I feel like you're one of the few artists that do a good job when it comes to like networking and getting big features. Like you have features with the baby, you have features with Gucci Man, you have features with August Alsina. Like you have some major features, and that's something that I believe Toronto artists struggle with. So how are you able to finesse your way into these features and kind of network and get these big names on your songs?
It's just about networking and connecting with the right people, and knowing that that's something you have to tend to within your career, which is building up your stature, getting on collaborations with big name artists to cross promote your brand, to let people know that you take this serious as professional as any other artist should. So when it comes down to it, you gotta invest your money, invest in yourself to really get these types of relationships built. Sometimes it's not always about money. Sometimes it's about the relationship. And if it comes down to the point where you ruin something in the relationship, niggas might not fuck with you. You know what I mean? So I've always had big looks my whole career. People are watching me and will tell me behind the scenes that they fuck with me. You know what I mean? And when it comes down to like building relationships to build that stature towards like working with big artists, it's just about knowing what artists to work with and what's gonna work for your brand. So like, me personally, I started doing big collabs when I was like 18, 19, just realizing like, hey, well, if I can outsource myself to these places to where these artists are located, I can help myself build fans in those regions. So like a lot of the time I spent like, building my fan in other places, so like one of the first people that I did ever work with was Soulja Boy. You know what I mean? I have a feature that I had purchased from his Toronto producer. It's actually one of the first features that I ended up releasing to like get a stronger like look towards my name and help people realize that, yeah, I'm taking this serious, so look out for me. I got more stuff on the way. And then I started dabbling more into it because I realized that this type of formula works for me to get engagement. So my whole method behind it is I grab the feature and then I scale the artist's fan base. So how that works is I get on my social media apps like Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and I do my hashtag searches. I search up their name to see who mentions the artist's name to the T, so I could create a spiel, send off my music to that artist to that artist's fan base, and they might like the same music, right? So I just knew that having that formula was key for wanting to help grow my own fan base, because sometimes people like to listen to artists that sound similar to each other. So when it comes to like all these artists that I picked myself to work with, they all collectively had a bigger name than me and a bigger following than me, to the point when I linked myself with them, people see that that's such a big deal for my career that they don't even know how I'm doing it.
All right. So, we're talking about, how you're able to finesse your way into features and whatnot. I know we were speaking and you were saying something about potentially getting a Bizlo, feature.
That's potentially not, fam. That's in the bag. You mean? Shout my dog Bizlo free up. See what I'm saying? Real niggas do real things. That's what it comes down to. And I don't finesse these features. I just invest my money where it matters, and make relationships with the right people. The finesse factor is me marketing it in a way that's gonna pull you in to listen to it. You know what I mean? So me doing a song with Bizlo, when that drops, we're gonna drop it in such a dope way that people are gonna just click on it because they see that Greezy Deckz and Bizlo is like the most random feature to ever exist in Toronto. You know what I mean? But that's to the people who don't know who I am. And man's gotta know that I've been connected on the scene for a while. To not have a Bizlo feature would almost be stupid. So I made sure that when I had some money to invest into my music career, I grabbed certain features. So not only did I, grab something from Bizloke, I went over to the UK side and grabbed something from K Coke because that's my dog from day one. That's a big record that's doing lots of numbers in the UK right now. A lot of my fan base is actually stemming in the UK right now. So shout outs to everybody that's actually taking me in over there, and hopefully a lot more people down in here in my own city could really come across me a lot more. And that just happens to do with getting on the right blogs and things like that. So it always comes down to like promoting yourself the right way, right? So I definitely feel like I put in a lot of good work to get myself known out here, but I'm just favorable on outsourcing and building my brand in other places because it all comes together full circle at the end of the day.
Facts.
You know,
I was looking into like your music and whatnot, and one of the highlights of your career is Clubhouse, right?
Yeah.
So looking into the music, this is what I found. I found that Clubhouse was popping, and then you made a song called Clubhouse.
Mm-hmm.
You were on the app very, very early, before Clubhouse was big in Toronto.
Yeah. That's a fact. You know what I mean? I was definitely on the scene on Clubhouse from a year ago.
For sure.
And it's almost crazy how it happened. It's still surreal, to be honest to you. And yeah, man, it's just like Clubhouse is the one app that changed my life. I could definitely say helped me get on the right foot forward to a better position in this music game. Just being able to sign my first deal after rapping for 12 years was definitely a big accomplishment. And I feel like the way it happened was so unique that it was almost like a good story for the press and things like that. So I got away with being able to just tell people the story and they were interested right off the bat because it's just a new app. So when you're mixing in yourself with new things that are just coming out, it's also a good way for people to know about what this is about, right? So for the time being, I was also telling people about what the app really is about, how to get involved with it, how to join, how to sign up, and things like that. And then yeah, it was definitely a good experience just being a part of something that is now popular. You know what I mean? That's what I did it for.
So, quick question for the people that don't know, the whole Clubhouse situation. Kind of break down how that came about, how you dropped the song, how you met an executive on the app, and how you signed up. Like, kind of break that down and explain how that came about, and also explain if that was just a single deal or was it like a distribution deal. Like, what's the in and outs of that deal?
All right, so basically, I ended up signing up with Clubhouse app like last year, Boxing Day, when pretty much Meek Mill and academics were going back and forth beefing and stuff on it. That kind of like blew it up in like the music world. So I caught heat of it and then I downloaded it, wanted to see what it was about because like I like to stay ahead of the curve and make sure that I can utilize these apps before they get popular, right? So got onto Clubhouse, started using it for a couple weeks, and then I became an influencer on there just for the sole fact of being able to promote my brand and pitch to people what I'm doing. So I had started off by just creating Toronto industry mixers for artists down here to like get a hold of the app and start using it, and then be able to build relationships with people on the app, such as like people a part of like the labels, like A&Rs, producers and shit like that. So that started going well. And then I was getting my name out on the app, right? So with me having such a high stature with like my features and my collaborations, when you update your bio, you're allowed to like tell people like what you've done, like, or who you've worked with, so that people, when they come across your page, it'll help them want to follow you more and engage with what you have going on. And then you can connect your Instagram. So like people often will see that I've worked with like this person, that person, and this person, and they're all huge people. They right off the bat see that it's a sense of professionalism. He must be serious about his shit. Let's follow him. Let's tap in. So from that point, I was using it. It was working out really well. I was getting a good name for myself. And then we had this one idea that we were gonna like hack Six Buzz, right? So like we pretty much wanted to like impersonate Six Buzz to the point where like all we did was like just change my profile picture to the Six Buzz logo, and then I started a Toronto room that said like Toronto music industry and politics. And sure enough, it worked. Everybody from the city started pulling up. It was funny because like everybody really thought we were Six Buzz for a second because it said Six Buzz room, right? Yeah. And then yeah, I just wanted to like really like kind of use that to grab people in at once so that they could see that this is what's going on. We're here networking. We're here building links for the city, right? And then we had a couple trollers within that whole process of us actually pulling it off. So now there was so much people in the room that like we're actually now kicking people out the room because like there's trollers coming in talking shit and shit like that. And then like maybe like about a couple days later, there was somebody that was like in one of these clubhouse rooms per se, and he was trying to troll me. So like somebody was like that same day, by chance, somebody was like actually scamming artists that day, right? He was pretending to be an A&R for Atlantic Records, and he was scamming people. So like he was starting a room, and everybody, all the artists kept going into the room because it's like a music review. He's saying he's an A&R, right? And it's like because he kept telling people you can like send a cash app just to play your music and he'll sign you. He kept telling people like, yeah, I'm gonna sign you for this much. Send your demo over, right? So he kept like capping the people that they're gonna get signed, and people started believing him. Then people started going in other rooms and realizing that this guy's a fraud. So like I ended up hopping in this room just to kind of like feel it out and read the room, see what's going on. And I'm on the stage talking to him, just like, you know, trying to feel him out because once again, like, you know, me and you talked about the whole scam shit I went through. I wanted to kind of see like, is he legit or is he like a red flag? Yeah. So like, as I'm talking to him, there's people amongst the audience who are listening to what I'm saying to him. And then like, I left the room and went back to the other room where people were talking about him. And then like, I hopped back into that room and now they're trying to tell me that I'm a fraud too. They're trying to tell me that I'm a fraud too. And like, there must have been somebody in that room that was like the producer of the song that I did with the baby. Yeah. And like, he must have been under the impression that I had stole the song or something like that. Okay. But, you know, I had actually done like the correct business behind it to lease it and put it on YouTube for, you know, promotional use only. Right. And yeah, from that point, I got like pretty much attacked. Like for like a good like 5-10 minutes, I was getting attacked by like 100 people in the room. And they kept sending me down to the audience, so they wouldn't. So like every time I get a chance to like try to defend myself and let them know this, explain the situation, they kept sending me down to the gulag. So like I couldn't get a chance to say my piece. Yeah. I left the room, and I started my own clubhouse room. And the topic was, would you buy a DaBaby feature for $100 or $100,000? Right? Yeah. So as soon as I started that room, everybody seen it, and everybody started flooding into my room now. Yeah. Right? Now we have all the trollers that was talking shit. We got this one guy that thinks has something to do with the song, and the producers and da-da-da-da-da says he knows DaBaby, talking about DaBaby's about to pull up right now, shut down the room and all this nice type of shit. Yeah. But like, these niggas are just capping. They don't really know DaBaby. I guess they were just pressed that like, I really have the feature or something. Yeah. Right? So like, fast forward into like all that mix up, they pretty much like reported my account, and then I got kicked off. So like at that point, I was kind of upset because I'm like, shit, like I had something kind of good going on here for like the last 3 weeks. And just because these little lame ass niggas came and seen my bio that I've worked with all these people, they think that I'm fucking some type of fraud now. Because that one time I went into a room with a fraud, and I didn't even know he's a fraud. How can I know you? It's Clubhouse. I don't know where these niggas live and shit like that. They're in the States or something, right? So at this point, I started saying, you know what? Fuck it. I'm kicked off the app. Now I can get back in the studio. Because, you know, at this point, I wasn't recording. I was just on the app every day, kind of like just learning how to use it every day and shit, you know? Yeah. At this point, I make the song. I got the beat from my producer. Shout out DJ Backpack. I had asked him like maybe a couple days prior to make me something that's like, you know, gonna be hot. Mm-hmm. I didn't end up liking the beat at first because it sounded too like playful and shit. Okay. But like after this situation had happened, I had realized that, yeah, like this song actually works perfect for what I'm about to do. Mm-hmm. Right? So I made the song Clubhouse. I made the chorus first. And then like I kind of was trying to buy time to get my account back. So I made my fiance get the account back and invite me back to the app. And then pretty much, you know, I had the course already recorded. So at this point, I'm starting fresh and I want to just be an artist now. Now I'm just like, you know what, fuck you guys. I'm just gonna be an artist. Me doing all this helping shit, it's not gonna help me. So let me focus on myself and get a deal now. So boom, sure enough, the very first room that I hopped into to play the song for people, because I'm here thinking, okay, well, I just made a fucking theme song. This shit sounds super corny as hell, but I know how to make shit sound catchy all the time without even really trying. So like, I made the chorus. I know it's gonna be hard, but I want to kind of just see what people think. If they think it's too corny or if they think it's like too like joyful or whatever, right? So hop into the room. It's like some like industry exec room with people just building connections and stuff. And then, you know, it's my turn to speak. I'm on the stage. I play the song. I'm like, yeah, you know, I introduced myself, gave them my pitch, let them know where I'm from and shit, and I played the hook. By the time I was done, you know, I got a good response. And then somebody in the stage pretty much had said, you know, I'm gonna reach out to you. I wanna help you put some money behind that song. So as I'm on the stage and he's telling me that, you know, he likes the song and stuff, I get a direct message from him on Instagram saying like, yeah, like, you know, here's my number, call me, let's talk. You know? So got on the phone with him and yeah, he had a good offer for me. I decided to take it because it made sense for what I was doing at the time. And yeah, it was my first single deal. You know what I mean? So long story short, I got discovered off Instagram. Well, not Instagram, sorry, Clubhouse. I got discovered off Clubhouse. So shout out to Marv Mack. You know what I mean? He's a really like dope veteran from back in the day that had his own label at once upon a time, and he still does. You know, but now he helps artists break records. You know, so shout outs to Marvin Mack. He definitely had the alley oop on that. You know, he knew that the song was gonna be big, and he helped me get it out to the masses. You know, something I couldn't do by myself. So he ended up talking to me about the deal, letting me know what it kind of entailed and things like that. And it was a single distribution deal, and I got a chance to like, you know, cut 60-40 in my favor. Nice. And yeah, it was just a single deal for a year. You know, so 12 months later, here we are. You see what I'm saying? Like everything went well. We released the song in February. And then, yeah, I got on a lot of dope news outlets. I was in the Brampton Guardian. See what I'm saying? Shout out to Brampton Guardian. Seneca College editorial newspaper. I was in there because, you know, I'm a Seneca alumni and I went to school for music. So aside from that, I was on a lot of other blogs like Keep Six Solid, Wave Room, Six Wars, and a lot of other dope outlets that kind of picked up the story in conjunction. But yeah, it was definitely a good exposure opportunity to kind of like propel my career forward with anything else I was doing at the time. And yeah, it was definitely a good experience. Just say like, you know, my first little deal to sign, it was definitely something that was worth it. And you know, I could definitely say it changed my life. Clubhouse, you know, definitely changed my life. But now, you know, we're on Riff. And shout outs to Riff, because that's the next big thing that I plan to get a bigger deal on, you know?
That's big, that's big. So, you know, what's some things that you want the people to check out? What are some things that you're working on? What can we look forward to? Just kind of, you know, let us know what's going on.
So right now, I got a lot of dope music videos that I'm putting together, you know, for the year. And right now I'm pushing my lead single with K Coke, which is called Cancelled. So everybody go check that out on all streaming platforms. I'm also promoting my new album, The Greed Tape 3. That's out now as well. I'm working on a new project EP called Perseverance, which is going to be, you know, talking about a little bit more personal sides to me and my experiences of, you know, being a father and a rapper growing up, and you know, in this rap game, being on the grind, pushing through and making it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I got a lot of dope music. I'm about to be cooking up a lot of dope producers I'm working with, you know, from around the world that we're cooking up some shit with. And yeah, hopefully with this SODMG shit, we got shit expanded by that time. You know, I'm just putting in the work right now and doing what I can to grow my fan base. You know, so definitely about to do a huge Toronto run and get some singles out. You know, me and Bizlo got a single on the way. You guys be out on the lookout for that. Me and Tory Lane's sister, Destiny, we got something cooking up. Shout out my boy Private Name, Private Number. And me and him got something cooking up. And also, I'm putting together the first ever riff compilation album. So what that means is like the people that I'm building connection with, you know, on the app, like artists and producers and things like that. I'm curating an album that we're gonna, you know, collectively promote on the app and collect streams off of. So that's gonna be something very huge that I got in the works, and I'm excited about that because a lot of the records that I've been making with these people from around the world, they sound really dope because they're from all different places. You know what I mean? So yeah, definitely that's pretty much it. I got a lot of dope stuff that I'm cooking up. I'm always working on new music. There's always gonna be new shit, and yeah, that's it. You know.
That's right. That's right. So appreciate you coming through. Hopefully, as you continue to put out music, make your move, we can sit down again, chop it up, and see where you're at.
Definitely, man. The grind continues. You see what I'm saying? It's Greezy Deckz. I also got my own skateboards. See what I'm saying? Go to Greezy Deckz skate shop if you need some, you know, some decks. And yeah, I go by the name Greezy Deckz once again. Tap in with me on all platforms, Greezy Deckz. And yeah, say word. Thanks for having me.